What's up guys, Groovy Guitar Dude here with the beginner guitar tutorial for 0 O'Clock by BTS. If this video helps you out, hit that like and subscribe button and let me know down in the comments below what are the songs by BTS that you want to learn on guitar. Guys, the first thing that you want to know to play 0 O'Clock on guitar is that in order to get rid of some bar chords and keep this as beginner friendly as possible, we're going to capo up to 1st fret. And if you don't have a capo, I'll link to get this capo for free right up here. The next thing that you want to know for 0 O'Clock is the structure of this song. We're going to start out with a verse, then go to pre-chorus, then chorus, then verse, pre-chorus, chorus again, then we're going to have a short bridge, and then we're going to finish up the song with one last chorus. And the last thing that you want to know before we dive into 0 O'Clock is the 8 chords that we need to play this song. The first one is G, the next one is C, the next one is E, the next one is E minor, the next one is A minor, the next one is D minor, and the last two are bar chords, but I will have a beginner way to play both of these in the pinned comment below. The next chord is F, and the last chord is F minor. And again, for those last two bar chords, I will have beginner ways to play both of those in the pinned comment below, but I also have chord charts for all the other chords in the pinned comment as well. And with all that in mind, guys, let's dive into 0 O'Clock. Man, 0 O'Clock is a beautiful song, and it's one that I've gotten so many requests for, so I'm really stoked to be diving into this song with you guys. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the very first guitar part that we hear in the song, which is the picking pattern that plays throughout all of the verses. Now, for this picking pattern, we're going to have a chord progression, but we're actually going to pick through each individual chord. So I'm going to show you this chord progression first, and then we'll break down what we'll be picking for each chord. The chord progression that repeats through the verses that our picking pattern is going to be based around is going to be C, E minor, F, and F minor. Now again, I know those bar chords look intimidating. I will have beginner ways to play both of those in the pinned comment below if you need them. So that's the chord progression that our picking pattern for our verses is going to be based around. Now let's break down what we're going to be picking for each one of those chords. We'll start with our C chord here. For that one, what we're going to do is we're going to pick A, D, and then B and E at the same time, and then G, and then we're going to pick A, B and E at the same time, and then G. That's what we're playing for our C chord. One more time through that. For our C chord, we have A, D, B and E at the same time, G, and then we're going to go A, B and E at the same time, G. And that's the only thing we're going to pick for our C chord. Closer to full speed, that'll look about like this. Just about like that, and then we're on to our next chord. Now, for our E minor chord, that's going to be our next chord in the progression, we're going to do something very similar. All that's really going to change is what we're playing for our bass note, or the lowest note of each of those chords. So for our E minor, it's going to look very similar, but we're going to pick low E, D, B and high E at the same time, G, and then we're going to pick low E, and then we're going to pick B and high E at the same time again, and then we're going to pick G. So the only thing that changes in that picking pattern from our C chord picking pattern is the bass note, or the lowest note. That's the only thing that changes, otherwise it's exactly the same. So that one, a little closer to full speed, will look about like this. Just about like that. Next, we're on to our F chord, and this one is actually going to be the same exact picking pattern that we just played for our E minor. We're just going to be using an F chord instead. So same thing here. We've got low E, D, B and high E at the same time, G, low E, B and high E at the same time, G, and that's it. That's going to be all for our F chord. So one time full speed through that. And then we get to our F minor, and this is where it looks a little bit different. So for this one, we're going to pick low E, D, B and high E at the same time, G, and then we're going to take all of this off, and we're going to pick 3rd fret on the high E string, and then 1st fret on the high E string. So one more time through that last shape, we're going to pick low E, D, B and high E at the same time, G, and then we're going to go down here and pick 3rd fret on the high E and a 1st fret on the high E. And that is going to finish off our picking pattern for verses. We're just going to repeat that all the way through our verses. So one more little guided walkthrough of the whole thing all together, and then we'll do a couple of playthroughs. So we're going to start here with our C chord. We've got A, D, B and high E, G, A, B and high E, G, and then we're onto our E minor. We've got E, D, B and high E, G, E, B and high E, G. Then we're onto our F. We're going to have the same picking pattern as the last one for this. We're going to have low E, D, B and high E, G, low E, B and high E, G, and then we go to our F minor. This is where it gets a little different. Low E, D, B and high E, G, and then we have 3rd fret on high E, 1st fret on high E. And that right there is going to repeat through all of our verses on 0 o'clock. So guys, I'm going to play through this picking pattern that we're going to use for our verses a couple of times very slowly so that you can make sure you have all the right stuff in all the right places. And then I'll play through it a couple of times full speed so that you can match it up with the speed of the song. So slowly a couple of times first through the picking pattern that's going to repeat all through our verses on 0 o'clock will look about like this. And a couple of times through the picking pattern that's going to repeat through all the verses on 0 o'clock, full speed will look about like this. And from there, guys, things get much, much easier because the verses are the only place that we have any picking in this song. So the rest of the song is just going to be chord progressions and strum patterns, which tend to be a little bit easier for beginners. So the first one we're going to take a look at is our pre-chorus chord progression and strum pattern. Our chord progression for pre-chorus is going to be D minor, G, E minor, A minor, and then we're going to play F twice, and then F minor twice. So again, those bar chords there, they may look very intimidating, but I will have beginner ways to play both of those in the pinned comment if you need them. So it's going to sound a little bit weird that we're going to play those last two chords twice. All that means is we're going to play twice through the strum pattern for each one of those chords. That strum pattern, we'll start with our D minor here since that's our first chord. The strum pattern we're going to use for each chord in our pre-chorus is going to be down, 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 up for each one of those chords. So walking through our chord progression for pre-chorus with that strum pattern will look about like this. We'll start with our D minor. We'll go down, 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 up, 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 down, 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 up. And just like that, that is going to lead us into our choruses. Now, not too terribly complicated besides those bar chords. It's a fairly beginner chord progression with a fairly beginner strum pattern. So I don't think you guys will need too much help with this, but a couple of times through that pre-chorus chord progression and strum pattern will look about like this. And from there, guys, we're into what's being played for our choruses. For our choruses, we just have a simple chord progression and a pretty easy strum pattern to go along with it. So first, let's take a look at our chord progression. Our chord progression is actually going to be the same chord progression that we used for our verses, but again, we're going to be using a strum pattern with it this time. So just to refresh our memories, our chord progression for our chorus is going to be C, E minor, F, and F minor, repeated over and over again through all of our choruses. Now, for our strum pattern for each chord, we're going to play down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, or down, down, up, down, twice for each chord. So a little walkthrough of our chord progression with that strum pattern will look about like this. We'll start with our C chord because that's our first chord in the progression. It's going to look about like this. We'll go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. And that chord progression and strum pattern right there is going to repeat through all of our choruses all the way through. There's nothing else that changes. It's just that simple chord progression and strum pattern repeated through all of our choruses. So guys, a couple of times through that chord progression and strum pattern that's going to repeat through all of our choruses will look about like this without me talking. And from there, guys, the only other thing that you need to know to play 0 o'clock on guitar is what we're playing for the bridge. Now, the bridge has a bit of a tricky chord progression just because it's kind of a lot to remember, but the strum pattern is really easy, so that makes up for it. So let's take a look at this chord progression. We're going to start with an A minor, then we're going to go to F minor, then we're going to go to C, then we're going to go to D minor, and then we're going to go to our second line. This line is going to be played just a little bit quicker. That'll make a little bit more sense when we go through our strum pattern. We're going to go to F, then E, then A minor, then G, and then we're going to go to F, third line here. This one's going to hang out a little bit, and then we're going to go to G, and that one's going to hang out a little bit, and then we're into our last chorus after that G. So you might already be kind of able to tell, but we're actually just going to be using single down strums for each one of those chords. Again, the only part where this gets a little bit trickier, a little bit confusing, is that the second line is going to be faster than the other lines. So the first and third line are going to be played fairly slowly, and then the second line is going to be sped up a little bit. So a little walkthrough of what that bridge progression with that single down strum pattern will look like is about like this. This will give you a little bit of an idea of what the timing looks like. So we'll start with an A minor here. We'll go A minor, F minor, C, D minor. Second line now, this is going to be a little bit faster. We're going to go F, E, A minor, G. Now last line, we're back to playing a little bit more slowly, and then G. We're going to let that ring out, and then we're going to pick up that last chorus right after that. And that's your whole bridge. We only play through that once for the bridge. So guys, once through the bridge chord progression with that single down strum pattern will look about like this, full speed, without me talking. And guys, that is everything that you need to know to play 0 o'clock on guitar. As always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up in the comments down below. I'm usually pretty quick getting back to those. And again, if this video helped you out, hit that subscribe button. I have about 750 other guitar and ukulele lessons on this channel, and I usually try to post at least 3 to 5 new lessons every single week. So if you're learning guitar or ukulele, there cannot be a more perfect channel for you to check out. If you want to see what songs I'm jamming on, where I'm traveling, or pictures of my dog, you can hit up my Instagram at @thegroovyguitardude. Link for that will be in the description below. And guys, lastly, if you want to support the channel and get your name at the credits of each new guitar tutorial, you can hit up my Patreon at patreon.com/thegroovyguitardude. Link for that will be in the description below as well. Guys, 0 o'clock is one of those songs that I've gotten a ton of requests for, and you guys know that I love teaching K-pop songs because the K-pop audience is so cool. I love it. The BTS army, you guys are so nice, so awesome. I love when you leave me comments, and I love when you leave me suggestions because you guys are just the best. Y'all are awesome, and I really enjoy teaching songs like this one. I love songs like this one as well because it combines an awesome finger picking pattern with some really groovy just chord progressions and strum patterns. I love songs that mix and kind of have just a little bit of both because I'm a really big fan of finger picking. I love finger picking. It's really kind of my favorite style of playing, to be honest with you. Most of the songs that I play are finger picking songs when I'm just playing songs that I like to jam on. But then I also love to work in a cool kind of strum pattern chord progression as well. I love having a mix of both. So this song was a lot of fun for me because I loved kind of working out that verse picking pattern, but also the other chord progressions are very beautiful as well. So guys, I had a lot of fun learning this song. I hope you guys have a lot of fun learning it as well. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all soon.